Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today is January 13th, 2013, and this is, I haven't done it in forever. I just started playing around with it recently. The second deck profile for Realm of the Sea Emperor structure deck. Let's go ahead and get to it. I have not much to say. Alrighty. Alright, so first up we have the monsters, 20 monsters. As usual. We have two Skreech. Skreech is an excellent card in this deck. You want to get a lot of water monsters in the graveyard. And when this card, I believe, I don't use this deck a lot. When this card is destroyed by battle, send two water monsters in your deck to the graveyard. Yeah, it's in recording. So, I'm going to go ahead. Sorry about that. I will set one of these off to the side. Okay, so there. Talk about that later. My dead. Next we have three Atlantean Dragoons. This guy's really cool. I'll go ahead and read him off to you, let you know what he does. All face-up level 3 or lower Sea Serpent type monsters you control can attack your opponent directly. When this card is sent to the graveyard, activate a water monster's effect. Add one Sea Serpent type monster from your deck to your hand, except Atlantean Dragoons. So, there you go. That's a really cool card. We're going to also set that to the side. Talk about it in a second. Next up, we have three Warrior of Atlantis. I'll explain that later, a bit later. We do use a lot of a legendary ocean. We use three legendary oceans, so that's really why it's in there. Basically, you discard it to the graveyard, get a legendary ocean to your hand. It's got 1900 attack points, so it's really awesome. And with the legendary ocean, you can easily overpower stuff like Thunder King and a whole bunch of other troublesome cards. So there we go. Next up, we have three Abyss Soldiers. I wish I had that new Abyss Warrior thingy that came out in Abyss Rising. I really want to get that, but I don't. So, until then, I really haven't bought anything for this deck. I don't have any mermails or anything because I don't have the money to buy stuff like that. So, stick with what we got. We have three Abyss Soldiers. Basically, you discard a water monster from your hand in order to return a card on your opponent's side of the field to their hand. So that's really nice. Target one card in the field, return it to the hand. So it could be yours too. We're going to go ahead and set one of those to the side. Next up, we have three Atlantean Heavy Infantry. This guy's awesome. He allows you a extra normal summon or set once per turn. I'm correct. Yes, you can normal summon one level 4 or lower Sea Serpent monster in addition to your normal summon / set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. And when this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, destroy that target. So, we'll go ahead, like I said, I'll set that card to the side. We'll talk about it in a second. Next, we have three Atlantean Marksmen. Marksman's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and read this guy off. When he inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Atlantean Sea Serpent type monster, except Atlantean Marksman. When this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a water monster's effect, target one set card your opponent controls and destroy that target. So we'll set one of those to the side, and then we'll talk about these guys. We'll talk about them later. Lastly, we run three Codarus. Codarus is really cool. By sending a face-up Umai you control to the graveyard, you can send two cards on the field to the graveyard. I don't know if it's cards your opponent controls. Yeah, two cards your opponent controls. You send them to the graveyard. And because it's not destroying them or anything like that, it can't be negated by like Starlight Road or Stardust Dragon. Because it's only sending them to the graveyard. It's not destroying them. So that's really cool. Alright, next up we got the magic cards. Let's get to the magic cards. We have 11. First we have Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, get rid of monsters, get rid of spells and traps, get rid of backwards. What we have. Three Legendary Oceans. This card is really cool. It downgrades all water monsters by one level, and it gives all water monsters 100 attack and 100 defense, and it's treated as the card you mine. So there we go. So that. Next up, we're running three Salvages. We have a lot of water monsters with 1500 attack or less, and this basically lets you take two water monsters with 1500 attack or less and add them to your hand. It's really cool. I'll go ahead and actually set one of the Salvages to the side. Lastly, to round up the magics, we have three Call of the Atlanteans. It's a really cool card. Um, Basically, when you activate this card, you can go ahead, target 3 level 3 or lower sea serpent monsters in your graveyard, special summon all 3 of them. You cannot special summon a monster during the turn you activate this effect. And it's a quick play, so my best advice, throw it face down, your opponent ends their turn, activate this at the end of their turn, hopefully they don't have Torrential or something. And there you go, because once you activate it, you can't special summon the rest of that turn. Now we move into the traps. We have 1 Torrential Tribute. Really awesome. When a monster card is summoned, just go ahead and flip this bad boy over, and it destroys all monsters in the field, only running 1. Next up, we're running 2 Imperial Iron Walls. Obviously, you want to be able to use Call of the Atlanteans, and you can't do that if they're removed from play, all your Atlanteans. So we have 2 Imperial Iron Walls. This will protect your monsters from being removed from play. That's really cool. Lastly, this one kind of works against Imperial Iron Wall, or rather, Imperial Iron Wall works against this one, but it's Forgotten Temple of the Deep. I'll go ahead and read it to you. When this card is on the field, this card's name becomes Umai. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can target 1 face-up level 4 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control. Banish that target. During the end phase, special summon that monster banished by this effect. Obviously, like I said, Imperial Iron Wall works against this, but I don't really put it in there for its banishing capabilities. It's really in there just for Codarus, an extra Umai target. If you don't want to get rid of a Legendary Ocean, you can just get rid of this, send a couple cards to the graveyard. Really cool. You can go ahead and change whatever you want. Because, to be quite honest, the Legendary Oceans, I just like using them. Obviously, you don't have to. It's not the greatest strategy, but I like it. Lastly, we run 3 Aegis, I don't know how you pronounce that first word, of the Ocean Dragon Lord. Basically, face-up level 3 or lower water monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects when this card is activated. So that's a really, really, really nice card to have. And, okay. So, now I'm just going to go over the combos of the cards that I set off to the side, and we'll just go ahead and talk about those. So, with Skreech, like I said earlier, when he's destroyed by battle, you can send water monsters from your 2 water monsters from your deck to the graveyard. So obviously you'd want to send stuff like Heavy Infantry and Marksman. By sending those to the graveyard, you'll be able to destroy a face-up card due to Infantry's effect, and you'll be able to destroy a set card by Marksman's effect. So that's a really, really cool combo right there. Next up we have Atlantean Dragoon. He can have your level 3 or lower sea serpent monsters attack your opponent's life points directly. That includes himself, especially if you play, what's it called? Legendary Ocean. And when he's discarded, you can use him to search for a sea serpent monster from your deck and add it to your hand, except for himself. So that's always really cool. And then obviously we have the Abyss Soldier. By discarding a water monster, you can return a card on the field to the owner's hand. So maybe you target one of your opponent's face-down monsters or face-up monsters or whatever. Send that to their hand. Then maybe discard Marksman and destroy a set card too at the same time, like a set back row or whatever. Obviously, the salvage is in there to go ahead and recycle your Marksman, your Infantry, and whatever else you need to recycle. So, that's it. It's pretty short, but that's the deck profile. I don't really have an extra deck for it, just because I don't have a bunch of, Xyz and Synchro monsters. So, you can just add in whatever you feel that you want to add. You want to add stuff like Zenmaines, Djinns, whatever, Acid Golem. There are a bunch of really awesome, cards that you could add in. Just leave that up to you. If you're gonna, you can obviously, you don't have to run the Legendary Ocean build that I'm running. That's 9 cards that you have to add in. I really wish I hadn't started shopping. Oh well. Like I said, that's 9 cards that you have. That's 9 spaces that you could use for anything else. it's not that it's a bad strategy. It's just that, you know, just in case you ever wanted to run something else, you know, feel free to, because like I said, that's 9 spaces that you don't get to. Yeah, actually, I think it's better if I do it here. That's 9 spaces that you don't get to use because you're running the Legendary Oceans, the Forgotten Temple of Deep, and the Warrior of Atlantis. Like I said, I like to do it just because it's kind of interesting. I like it because a lot of people don't do it. For those of you running, like the Cider's not in here. It's good, but you know what? It's really not that great. Um, but yeah, like there's a lot of different things you could do with this deck. This is just kind of the build that I've been playing with. I found it to be it's really fun, it's really cool, and I just like it. So anyway, that is my Atlantean or Realm of the Sea Emperor structure deck profile. The second. I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe if you want more. If you have any suggestions or just requests as a deck profile that you'd like to see me do, please let me know. Uh, like I said, I don't have the monies to go out and buy, you know, boxes, you know, of like the packs and stuff. So I obviously don't have a lot of stuff. But if I do have it, if you go ahead and request something, and if I have it, I'll go ahead and do it for you. Um, yeah, so there you go. Um, like I said, this is the Jump Super on Hero. Signing out. Peace. Alright, see you guys later.